Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. For supportive oracle cards, wisdom, chakra wisdom oracle cards. I don't know if you can see the whole box. And they are created by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen, and there's her last name. That way I don't completely butcher it. Okay, Aries. There's a double line here in the environment, which is very interesting. Okay. This double line here in the environment is telling me there's a person you have to deal with, and then there's something on the other side of them that's really amping up or creating. It's actually creating the situation. It's almost like you're going into work and there's someone you're talking to and they're all frazzled. It has nothing to do with you, but like somebody outside of the situation, like somebody at home has been giving them a really hard time and being really aggressive towards them, and they're so riled up that when they get to work, they're just so upset. Like it feels like that. Like you have no idea what's going on outside of work. You have no idea about what they're going through, but when you see them, they're like, ah. I don't know if that's exactly the energy you're gonna have to deal with. Well, maybe. Well, maybe. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. When you're coming into this situation, there's a lot of good energy. You got passion. Like you're getting into it. You're like, let's do it. Let's go and get things done. But the passion is between you and the actual situation or person you're dealing with. Like it's like you're excited to be a part of it. You're being accepted very easily. It's starting off really good. You've got the Eight of Coins, which in this deck is very creative in my opinion because of the picture on it. You know what I mean? But there's a lot here coming together, and there's a lot of work that's going to happen. There's a lot that looks like, it's already in full swing. It just has to be kind of brought together, and things just have to be lined up correctly, and a lot can come out of this. It's almost like you're starting at something that's like, it's like the crops that have been growing. It's like it's getting to the part where they just got to be harvested and tended to a little bit, and then made into something to sell. It's like you're coming in at that part. You've got gratitude, forgiveness, dissipating, and release. Release is at the bottom, I'm noticing. And I'm almost feeling like it's like you've gotten released from something that you didn't like. It's like this situation is you're trying to come into something better. You're released from something that you didn't care for. Like you were in a situation prior to this that you didn't really care for that much. You feel like that's the energy you're leaving behind. You got dissipating. Your connection to that is dissipating. You're happy about it. You got gratitude. Forgiveness is kind of like a renewed faith. Kind of like, whatever was going on before, that was before. Now this is making me feel like I can start fresh, I can start anew. And the Eight of Pentacles, it really makes me feel like you're coming into something that it's already well into its production. And you're coming in at the better part. You're coming in at that part where you're very happy to. It's kind of like, when you're getting ready to harvest the fruit and then make it into something so you can sell it. It's like that part where it's like it's almost ready to be picked. Almost ready to be picked. And there's plans coming forward after this. But you're like, it's a good part. It's a very active part, a part that is very enjoyable. It's starting there. Now, when you're coming into this, by the way, for whatever reason, whether you have knowledge or enthusiasm or a bit of both, the energy is being welcomed so well because because of that. Either you have the knowledge or the enthusiasm. Something either or, whatever. Both, whatever. And it's being received very, very well. Kind of like you're a perfect match for this. This will make things keep going forward. This is something where somebody feels like they're kind of making out pretty good because of your energy is going to make this very good, make this an easier situation on them. You also feel like you're coming in at a good point. It's not a problem. Like, whether you see it or not, I don't feel like it's a problem. You know what I mean? If you notice it, so what? I'm happy to be a part of it. Don't care. If you don't, Doesn't matter either way. That's how I'm feeling your energy matches into it. Like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. If you feel like it's going to make me being here makes it easier on you, cool. No problem, no skin. I'm going to do the same thing either way. Doesn't matter. Now, the Nine of Swords popping in next is kind of like... it's kind of like the other shoe, right? Like when you're getting involved, you don't either, whether you realize it or not, this other person is like feeling like you're going to take a lot of stress off of them. And I feel like it's one of those things like this is the other shoe, kind of like they're expecting a lot from you and they're not doing nearly as much as you. It's kind of like somebody else has a lot bigger stake in this situation. They're pulling you into it. You're doing a lot, but you're doing a lot more than they are. You're doing a lot more than they are, a lot more. And they're the ones who have the bigger stake in it than you. They get a lot more out of this than you do. And it's kind of like, well, that's not quite right. Okay, so this is how, like, it doesn't take long before you're kind of like, wait a minute, this isn't right. But it's also the same type of thing, kind of like, yeah, but I do want this. Even though they make out a lot better than me, if I don't do what I need to do, like, nobody gets anything. And I'm not getting into this to fail. I'm not just putting in my energy just to get nothing out of it. It's not really balanced. It's not really right. But it's kind of like you just keep moving forward. You're just like, I don't have time to really, I don't know. I just got to keep moving. It does a little bit annoy you, but you're too busy to really do anything about it. You're also kind of paired with, can I really make anything better with this right now? I don't know. Maybe there's something else I'm not seeing. Yeah. So that's what you're coming in with at this point. As we keep going, there is a lot of push here. Again, this is where this person, whoever you're dealing with, there's something outside of them. There's a lot of confusion going into expansion and growth. There's a lot more they're doing that you're not seeing. But also, there's a lot more they're doing that you have no idea what's going on there. You're literally not seeing it. You're not connected with it. It's not happening in front of you. It's almost like, for example, if we're talking about the fields again, and you're harvesting everything yourself, and you're like, where are they? Hello, and they're nobody, and you're just like, well, I'm obviously here. I'm obviously doing it. I don't see them anywhere. You don't know what they're doing. They're not telling you. There's a lot of growth, expansion, confusion. There's a lot they're handling. There's a lot they're juggling. There is a lot going on around them. But I see, like, one of the reasons this seems weird is because they're not telling you, but they're also, this is what you're dealing with them. That's going on outside of them. Growth, expansion, confusion. This is going on outside of them. Nothing you're connected to, but this is kind of explaining what you're seeing from them. You're seeing vanity, you're seeing facade, and you're seeing insecurity. To me, these all match. Especially facade. Like, a facade is like, that's something false. Like, isn't that what facade is? It's not, you're not seeing what the real thing is, what the real deal is. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's how my mind is connecting to it right now. You know what I mean? Insecurity, vanity, facade, it all to me matches. Like, you're just getting a bull. It's like they're bolstering almost, like, or they're like acting like they have every right to do what they're doing and they don't have to do anything they don't want to do. You're lucky. It's almost like they're treating you like you're lucky to be a part of this. The vanity especially makes me feel like it's like the way you're actually interacting with this is bittersweet. You're kind of like, well, I guess I got to put up with you. I don't want to. And it's kind of like, it's almost like they have you behind the 8 ball. They know it, and you're just kind of like, it's annoying. It is annoying. That's understatement. Obviously, bittersweet. You're kind of like, you're getting the situation itself. If you take this person out of it, if you just kind of remove them, the situation is fine. That's why it's bittersweet. It's them that you don't like. Like, literally, I feel like you don't like them and their attitude. I feel like for those of you this is sitting with, it's literally that person. You take them out, you get rid of them. You know, if they just weren't there or whatever, they just weren't a part of it, you'd be fine. The situation itself is okay. You're cool with it. Dealing with them, though, No. Now you have isolation on your side, and for Aries especially, if you're an Aries or you connect with that Aries energy, it's kind of like you're holding it in. Because you're like, if I let a little bit of it slip, it's like a balloon exploding. It's like you can't just partially pop a balloon. You either pop it or you don't. You know what I mean? At least I don't think you could partially pop a balloon. Um, it's kind of like, oh, all right, all right. You're just kind of like, I'm not gonna say anything because if I open this door, it all comes out. So isolation is on your side, kind of like I'm gonna make it through this by just not saying anything. I'm gonna concentrate on what I need to get done, and I'll just leave it at that. Because there's things I need to get. I didn't put this effort in for no reason. I'm not gonna shoot myself in the foot because of this person. Nope. Just no. And you're just keeping it to yourself. You're keeping it locked in. That's what I'm getting with isolation for you. All right, so this keeps going forward. I get that. Things seem to relent temporarily. And by relent, I mean like literally you're just not playing into this person's energy. You're just like, it's almost like I've had to deal with people on the phone this way, where they use curse words or they use insults, and I'm like, you don't even know me. But instead of saying anything, instead of acknowledging it, I just move on like it was never said, and I just actually deal with the actual problem. And I almost feel like that's something you're doing. I do connect with Aries energy a little bit. My moon is Aries, so I think that's where this is coming from. It's just kind of like I choose not to engage in it because I'm just, you don't know me. You just disconnect the emotion to that. That might be more Pisces because I'm a Pisces actually. I'm a Pisces with the moon in Aries, so I don't know. That might be more of a Pisces trait where you just disconnect and it's just like whatever. You can say what you want. I don't really care. I'm just not emotionally connecting to it. Because I'm seeing strength on your side and you're just not playing in. Even if it's bothering you, this person doesn't know that they're getting your goat. They have no idea. So if it is bothering you, they don't see any signs of it. I feel like a lot of you are just kind of like shutting off to it and just kind of like when they start, you're like, I got to do some work, got to go do this. You concentrate on work. You just step away from them and get some more work done. The strength is there, kind of like you're disconnecting from it as much as you can. Emotionally, a lot of you, I do feel like you are disconnecting with it. So you might have some type of water element or something going on in your chart because I feel like that's happening. Like you're disconnecting, like, nah, I'm not, nope, not going to play, I don't want to. And it seems like you got the King of Cups, kind of like you're dealing with this person fairly well. Things seem to be better. Like, the less you play, the easier it is to deal with them. Like, if you just ignore whatever weird comments they're saying, you just go on like they didn't say them, they just seem to do it less because it's just not working. That goes on for a while. All right, so then the Knight of Wands comes in. Nope, that's the Knight of Swords. That's the Knight of Swords comes in, right? This I feel like is an extra. This is outside. I don't know. I don't feel like it's the person you're used to dealing with. I feel like it's someone else. Someone else, like there's a messenger feel here. I know it's the Knight of Swords, but it does feel like there's a messenger. But I feel like this is somebody who has presence to command and say, this is what needs to be done now. I see what you're doing here. That's not this is not how this is gonna go. You're gonna do it this way now. And it's not just to you, it's to also the energy you've been dealing with, having to been dealing with. There's like, this is coming up. Somebody else is coming forward and saying, oh no, wait a minute. I see what you're doing, but I'm telling you this is going in a different direction and you're going to have to stop doing it that way and you're going to need to start doing it this way and that's going to need to go over there and this is going to be shipped over there. We're not going to do this way anymore, we're going to do it this way. Because there's kind of a presence here with the Knight of Swords. Granted, it's not the King of Swords, so it's not literally the person making the decisions, but they know they know where things are going, and they have the authority to say what you're doing is wrong. This is the way it needs to go now. That's not going there anymore. This is going over here now. But they have the backup behind them. So they know the bigger picture, and it's not going directly just at you. It's going also at this other person that you've been having to deal with, right? A lot of stress happens here. Ten of Wands, a lot of stress. I feel like you're doing your best to move things around, but you're almost like a little detached from it. You're taking it seriously. You're moving things around. You're putting things where they need to go now. You're making the changes, but you're also kind of like, how was I supposed to know this was going to happen? I'll do my best, but if especially if it's just me doing it, you know what I mean. I'll do what I can, but I'm not going to fall over myself. I'm not going to fall all over myself about it. I'll do what I can, and I'll put an honest effort into it. But you know, I've just been doing what has been in front of me. Nobody told me any different, so I'll do the best I can with it. And I'm getting the Empress energy with you, kind of like, yeah, I care. Yeah, I want this to work out. Again, with that energy, I got involved with this to get something out of it, so I'm not just going to let it fail, but I'm not going to fall all over myself about it. I'm going to do what I can with it. I literally feel like you're lining it up the way it needs to be lined up. Whatever message was that was given, and it wasn't just to you, it was to also this other person is what I'm getting. Because it's somebody that seems like that has the authority to tell them what to do as well. You take the notes, you take the information, you make it happen. You're like, all right, this has to happen, then you do it. And then that person, this person you have to deal with, I feel like they take the credit. Because the perception feels a little off to me. It's almost like it's perceived as if they're the ones getting credit for making things change, for things being realigned. In truth, I feel like that's not exactly how the credit is going, but they may play it off that way. In truth, people know exactly what happened, but the despondence on your side is kind of like, nobody's telling you to your face that they know you put it together. Nobody's telling you to your face that they know that you put in the effort and that's why things are going correctly now. So the perception is off is what I'm getting. Because when they're saying perception, it's like, it looks like you're not getting credit for putting things together the way it needs to go. But in truth, the right people know that you did it. The person you have to deal with that's been annoying you the whole time is playing it off as if it was their victory, but that's not really how it's going. I also feel like this might be a little bit of trickery. That card did not come out, but it's almost like where you came into this is almost like serendipitous to like what happens in this situation. Like the person who you have to deal with, they try to take credit for somebody else's stuff and they don't really get away with it. But when they annoy a person, somebody leaves and a new person comes in, like they seem to make out in the situation. So don't let this person get your goat, is basically what I'm getting from this. They're making it seem like they're getting credit for it. They're making it seem like they're the ones who have the accolades, but the correct people know what you did. The correct people know that you took care of it. It's just nobody's telling you. Nobody's giving you the flat out kudos that you deserve. And the person you have to deal with is making it look different than it actually is. Don't let that get to you, because I feel like later on down the road it will kind of balance out better. It's just I feel like this is part of the game this person plays. Like they annoy people, and then those people leave, and then they're like, well, I'm still here, so it makes me look good. You know, it's a weird, it doesn't, I don't know, it's a weird game. Just don't let this person get to you based on perception, because the despondence on your side right here, I'm feeling like it's just like, it's a mind game with the person you don't care dealing with. It's just a mind game, they're trying to get to you. Just don't let it happen. Just keep going with that same energy. If they say what they say, just realize that there is a bit of BS with that, maybe more than not. Then just try to roll with it that way. I think we're good. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.